Drew, where are you? We were supposed to be at the club 10 minutes ago. It's single ladies night. What do you mean you have to get your mallet of justice?
Huzzah! Greetings, fellow noblemen! I am ready to join thee in a night of frivolity, inebriation, and the rising of fair maidens!
I know I'm gonna regret asking, but why are you dressed like that?
I'm glad thou have asked. I have dedicated myself to the holy light so that I may be a Retribution Paladin in Rated Battlegrounds. After many weeks of hard work, reaching enlightenment, and looking up talent builds on Murloc.io, I embarked on an epic quest to become the greatest paladin in Azeroth. My journey as a paladin began in Elwyn Forest, where I was sent by the king to—
Okay, look. I know it's great that you found a new class and all, but you don't need to give me your backstory right now.
My journey as a paladin began in Elwyn Forest, where I was sent by the king to protect and serve the townsfolk of Northshire Abbey. As my first act of the Light's Will, I was tasked with culling the numbers of random rat people near a cave, culling the numbers of local wolves, and culling the numbers of rat people again, helping me earn my stripes as a paladin whose sole purpose is to spread justice and peace throughout the world.
So hold up, your whole journey as a paladin so far has been committing genocide, killing wolves, and committing more genocide?
The light works in violent and mysterious ways, but mostly violent.
Okay, but why?
Because nothing grants thee more favor with fair maidens than joining a celibate order.
No, I mean, why play a paladin in RBGs instead of a class with more utility like a druid or a demon hunter?
Don't mess with me! I have the power of the light and anime on my side. I shall prove it to thee by purging the darkness from thy heart with the holy light.
Wait, you said you're a paladin. Don't you normally use the light to kill things?
Nonsense, Sir Jason. Thou hast nothing to fear. The light is just and merciful.
I really don't think that's a good idea! Ah! Oh.
Oh, I forgot. He's a goth. That makes sense.
That wasn't merciful at all!
What's good, everyone? Welcome to the RBG Review Show, where I pick a class, I play it in RBGs, and then I review it. In today's video, we're reviewing— Hello! It is I, Andulor the Paladin! Welcome to the RBG Review Show! Do you have to pop in like that every time? Andulor the Paladin is a master of elegant entrances. For this video, we shall discuss the greatest class and specialization in all of Azeroth, the Retribution Paladin. Well, Paladin is arguably one of the most iconic classes in the Warcraft universe, and for the past few years, it's been doing consistently well in RBGs, sometimes too well. Whenever I want to play an alt for RBGs, Ret Paladin has been my go-to since the beginning of Shadowlands, which I think is a pretty smooth transition from maining DK. I've had a lot of fun with it, and if you've ever seen an Andulor the Paladin video, so does everyone else. But are these Zealous Weaboos of the Light something you would want to play in RBGs? Of course they are! Paladin is objectively the greatest class to be! Andulor the Paladin speaks the truth and is in no way biased at all! Could have fooled me. Let's find out. From my experience, most teams bring Red Paladins mainly because they're frontline melee that can dish out a lot of consistent pressure and high burst damage, but they have a fair share of utility. For instance, they have Blessing of Freedom, which can make themselves or a friendly target immune to movement and pairing effects. They can off-heal with abilities such as Flash of Light, Word of Glory, and Lay on of Hands being their biggest emergency heal. They also bring with them passive auras with varying effects that benefit any raid members within range. You got Devotion Aura for damage reduction, Concentration Aura for reduced interrupt and silence duration, and Retribution Aura, which is what I mainly run as a Ret. If any of your allies lose more than 30% health from a single hit, each raid member gains 5% increased damage and healing, which really takes the "my friends are my power" anime trope to a new level. There's also Crusader Aura, which is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine because it doesn't work in RBGs, so don't bother.
You're a fake and a fraud!
You know what's not worthless? Blessing of Protection, or BOP as it's commonly known, which makes you or an ally immune to physical damage. You can use it to help keep your teammate alive that keeps getting targeted, or you can save it for yourself so you can keep padding the damage meters, you selfish prick. And there's Blessing of Sacrifice, which transfers 30% of damage taken by the friendly target to you. For crowd control, you have Hammer of Justice, which is a good old bonk on the noggin that stuns, and Blinding Light, which is like a Rogue's Blind except it's AoE and hits multiple targets. It is most certainly not like a Rogue's Blind! Yes it is. No, it's projected by the Holy Light, which makes it honorable! Whatever, just be aware that it removes dots, so try not to piss off any dot damage dealers in your group. But the most iconic ability Paladins have at their disposal the greatest defensive in all of Azeroth, the all-powerful Bubble! Divine Shield, but yes, everyone calls it Bubble. It's arguably the most well-known defensive in the game because it makes you immune to everything. The only spells that can remove it are Mass Dispel from Priests and Shattering Throw from Warriors if they spec into it. And the second most iconic ability is the almighty Wings! It's really called Avenging Wrath or Crusade depending on your talent choices, but everyone calls it Wings. It's a burst cooldown that increases damage and healing. And if thou has enough faith in the light, thou can ascend into the air with it! Look, I know we call it Wings, but it doesn't do that. Huzzah! Wait, what? Whatever, I'm not questioning it. Let's take a more in-depth look at the specs. Out of all three, Retribution is the most popular and high-rated RBGs. To me, it feels like a melee Destro Warlock. You just pop wings and go schwangin' and bongin' people until they blow up. And growing up watching Dragon Ball Z, this is the closest thing to being a Super Saiyan I've ever felt in this game. Now, I said Red Paladin is a melee DPS, but I use that term loosely. Look at the range of these abilities. You got Blade of Justice and Final Verdict on a 20-yard range, and you got Judgment, Hammer of Wrath, Final Reckoning, and Divine Toll at a whopping 30 yards. Wait a minute, I just realized. These 30-yard range abilities have more range than my Dev Evoker. What the fuck is that shit? I mean, you still want to be in melee range for the most optimal damage, but half the time I could be miles away and still blow people up. Indeed, with all of these ranged abilities, Andulor the Paladin might as well be using a ranged weapon. Andulor, where did you get the gun? But all of this power and range helps Paladins compensate for something else. Lack of mobility! Pretty much. As a Paladin, you have Hand of Freedom and Divine Steed to help somewhat alleviate your lack of mobility, but outside of that, you're a lamp in a wheelchair. Which makes it all the more convenient to have a DK in your group, so that way the Red Paladin doesn't have to waddle over to the target. While Andulor the Paladin does not care for necromancy, he appreciates Death Knights for bringing enemies closer for divine judgment. Andulor, I'm right next to you. You don't have to yell like that. Yell like what? One important thing to note, you're most likely going to be one of the primary kill targets for the enemy team, which makes sense. I mean, would you ignore a zealot running around thrusting swords of holy fire right into your taint? Just be smart about when to use your defensives, especially Divine Shield. If you waste it, it can put your team behind in a team fight. You can use it offensively when you're using wings, but I wouldn't do that unless there's a good chance you're going to land a decisive kill. Also, be mindful of Forbearance. Divine Shield, Bop, and Lay On of Hands affect the target with a 30-second Forbearance debuff, which makes it so that you can't use any of these spells on the same target until Forbearance wears off. And now for the two bastard children of Paladin specs. Holy got a little better since the beginning of Dragonflight, but for RBGs, it's still not as good as Mistweaver, Prez Evoker, and Priest. The most unique thing Holy has going for it is that it can Hand of Sacrifice 100% damage, so combined with Bubble, it's a good survival cooldown. And Protection Paladins exist? I mean, they have their uses, but it doesn't bring as much value as a ret. Not to mention, you can't bop or bubble yourself while holding a flag or an orb. So they're nowhere near as valuable as a flag carrier as a Guardian Druid or a Vengeance DH. And according to Murloc.io, this is the highest rated prot pally for Season 3. I rest my case. Now onto the ret talents. I don't switch anything out in either tree except for one talent point if I play a certain PvP talent, which I'll get to in a minute. But if you're running the tier set, you need to have Expurgation for it to work. For the honor talents, I always run Aura of Reckoning and Luminescence. The third talent slot depends on the map. If it's a flag map, or if I'm playing golf carts and Silver Shard Mines, I use Blessing of Sanctuary. For every other map, I use Lawbringer because it's more damage in teamfight and I don't have to use my brain as much as I need to with Blessing of Sanctuary. Look, I play melee to Zug Zug, not think, okay? Two honorable mentions are Searing Glare and Blessing of Spell Warding. Searing Glare is a great defensive tool against rogue smoke bombs and other melee cleaves, and if you're scared of yourself or someone else dying to spell damage, you can take Spell Warding, which shares a cooldown with Blessing of Protection, and gives you the option of putting that talent point into something else like Sacrifice of the Just or Seasoned Warhorse. The stat priority for Retribution is Verse, Mastery, Haste, and Crit. These are my gear pieces and enchants. I know it's not full conquest, but you get the idea. For the embellished items, I use Infurious War Boots of Impunity and Verdant Conduit on the headpiece, but most players have it on the shoulders. And if I felt like spending more gold, I'd replace the Haste Ring with Signet of Titanic Insight for more Verse and Mastery. And if you happen to have the legendary two-handed axe from the raid, you can use that, but if you do, just know that I hate both you and Blizzard. As for macros, besides basic focus macros, all I have is a general cancel aura macro for Blessing of Freedom and Bop because as it turns out, mages can spell steal that shit. You can also use this Final Reckoning add cursor macro if you want to save yourself a millisecond and are confident enough with your precision. For the rotation, it's basically smacking the target with Final Verdict when it has a judgment debuff while also trying not to overcap on holy power and keeping your holy power generators on cooldown. Between that and all the random proccing, the Red Paladin rotation does not feel as straightforward to me compared to other classes I played so far. You always want to have Retribution Aura on, and this is assuming you have the tier set. For the standard rotation, you open with Blade of Justice to apply Expurgation, then Judgment to apply the Judgment debuff, then Final Verdict until the Judgment debuffs are used up and need to be reapplied. And use Hammer of Wrath if it procs or the target is below 20% health. You can also use Wake of Ashes to generate more holy power. For the burst rotation, for me, it usually goes like this. You again open with Blade of Justice, then Judgment, then Crusade, then Final Reckoning, then Final Verdict, Hammer of Wrath, then Wake of Ashes if you have 2 or less holy power, then usually Final Verdict again, then Divine Toll. I don't think it's complicated or anything, it just feels like it's all over the place with all the random procs and keeping holy power generators on cooldown while trying not to overcap on holy power. Now, as for the roles Red Paladins play in RBGs, it's mainly just doing big dick damage and supporting your teammates when you can with heals and buffs. Yes, I know helping others is boring and you'd rather zug, but winning is more important than topping the damage meters. For domination maps and Eye of the Storm, you're mainly a team fighter. Red Paladins can base it, but in most situations, you'll get more value out of them in teamfight. Remember, Divine Shield also works like a trinket, so try not to overlap trinket with Divine Shield. Bubble can get you out of most things like Root Beam, but not spells like Cyclone. And if Divine Shield is on cooldown while you're base sitting, let your team know. For flag maps, you're usually on offense, but you're not bad on defense. You can't bop the flag carrier, but you can off-heal Blessing of Sacrifice, and most importantly, Blessing of Freedom your FC. He'll love you for it. Maybe not like Baldur's Gate 3 love you, but still. Unless you're both into that sort of thing. I've been to Goldshire on Moonguard, I've seen some shit. For Kot Mogu, it's just more hectic team fighting, but remember, same with flag carrying, if you have an orb, you can't bop or bubble yourself, so you're not an ideal orb carrier. And for Silver Shard Mines, you usually team fight in lava, but if you don't have enough rogues, druids, and or demon hunters in your group, you may be assigned to off carts because of your support skills and heals. As for race, the most popular one in high-rated RBGs is Human, followed by Blood Elf. Dark Iron Dwarf and Tauren are also good, but as much as I love Tauren and their AoE stun, I refuse to play a Tauren Paladin because they look stupid and don't make sense. No offense, but I don't care that they've been in the game for over 13 years, I still think they look dumb. Almost as dumb as playing a Dwarven race on the Horde side. Could you imagine if Blizzard ever— oh, fuck you guys. Whatever, it is what it is.
But before I give my final thoughts, or final verdict—
oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I deserve that. Anyway, without further ado, it's time for—
It's time for an epic PvP montage starring Andulor the Paladin! You may do the snap transition now!
さあ、クリアして帰ろう。しかし、やらねばなるまい。おい、やっぱやるっきゃねえって。なぜなら私は。平和の象徴なのだから。
Oh no, it's time to duel!
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
Nani? I have no other option.
Holy Spirit, activate!
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Oh no!
Boom, bam, bop. Bam, bada bop, boom, pow.
Excellent!
Hey son, catch!
I have you now. Nope. Get over here! Nope.
Can't touch me.
oh, fuck.
You better stop! Stop!
But I'm not done yet.
No, 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 no! Wait!
No! God, please, no! No!
Finish him!
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side! Wait,
Good night, girl.
Medic! I am dead.
Hello there.
Do it again.
Hey, chill.
Do it again. No.
Hi, how are you?
I think I'm about to steal!
Stop right there, criminal scum.
He tried it.
Round 2.
Remember me, motherfucker?
Oh, now you fucked up.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I've got you in my sights.
No. Fast as fuck, boy. Get your ass back here.
Get fucked.
What did you say?
Come on over here. Now you flip me off. Come on, coward. For justice.
Leave me alone.
If God had wanted you to live, he would not have created me. Justice demands retribution.
Prepared to die.
Do it again.
Gotcha, bitch.
You there! Stop! Drop it, you sticky palmed little worm!
You're too slow. What?
Die, damn you!
Got it. What the fuck? I'm getting really sick of you.
What do I do, Lord? Die!
Thank you. Oh, call an ambulance. Call an ambulance. But not for me. This is fucking bullshit.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Andulor the Paladin! Yes, that was Andulor the Paladin. So what's my verdict on Ret Pally? It's a great damage-dealing melee class that's easy to learn and fun to play, making it a solid choice as a main or as an alt. While it's not a must-have for RBGs, it's been one of the best filler melee DPS for a long time now. It is a priority kill target, but it never felt unplayable to me.
The biggest learning curve for me with playing a Red Paladin was just getting used to clicking on my allies to give them buffs, because as a Death Knight main, I don't really do that. What was also crucial for me to learn was how to time my Divine Shield and other defensives right so that I don't immediately die. Because if you waste your Divine Shield at an inopportune time, you're gonna put the team fight behind.
But what do you guys think of Ret Paladin? Is it something you'd like to try if you haven't already? Let me know in the comment section below.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. But until then, I got some nightclub baddies to riz. Andulor, you mind giving Jason a res?
Andulor the Paladin would be happy to oblige!
It's just as horrifying every time.
Oh, don't be such a baby. It's not your first time. Come on, we got maidens to riz.
That's not the point! Also, you're not gonna riz anyone in that outfit!
Oh my god, he's so dreamy! I love a man in uniform. Oh my gosh, men of virtue are so hot. Paladins are so sexy. Generic random thirst compliment. Take me home, please. I want to have your babies. Looking at you. I'm weak in my knees. I want to make love to you in every position possible.
You sure showed me.